tell you how happy I am that I was able to set this up by myself, because I have been struggling like for the past 48 hours. It has been non-stop drama. I tried to get my camera up and it broke. And then I tried to get like some lighting in the background up, and then I found the floor and it broke the floor and I had to clean it up. So I cannot tell you right now how happy I am and how proud I am that I was able to completely clean that up. So yeah, this video is mainly just me rambling. I don't know what for, but I guess it's mostly for my friends and family, about why I've been away for such a long time and what I've been up to in the past 1 year, a year and a half. As probably a lot of you have seen, like me going in and out of social media and trying to post every now and then. But a big part of my journey, a big part of my present journey, is I try to keep myself out of outside influence and outside pressure, as to, you know, basically just constant engagement is something that is not good for my current mental health. So I try not to do that as much. But then at the same time, you know, I kind of miss doing content and I miss doing something creative. So I figured maybe I should pop back in here and try to do something with this. I'm not so sure what I want to be posting about, but I guess it's just a start for me. In the next few weeks or so, I should be able to have more videos, because basically it's something that I'm working on at the moment for some other projects, to have this kind of like video shooting setup. So I want to like make use of this. So I will actually film a lot, but it's for different projects. So I will use this for this purpose, like for this YouTube channel as well. So yeah, I know like 2020 hasn't been like an easy year for us, and it's a little bit too late to talk about it too. Like we already 1 month into 2021, and I don't know if anyone is liking this year, but for me, it's been a lot of going back and forth. I was in a hospital for a couple of days, but for something it's not serious. I can talk about it later, you know, in a different separate video or toward the end of this video. But basically, I'm still, for the most part in my life right now, I'm still recovering from something. I recently just moved. I actually moved a total of 3 times already this year, like in the past 12 months. I recently just got out of the house. I can tell you more about it later. And I recently also just got out of living with someone in for a really long time, and at the moment I'm still, you know, trying to figure out how to live by myself and how to be with myself, and survive. And actually it's not so bad at all. Like I'm actually starting to like it. And yeah, for this channel, I think it would be mostly about me and my healing and my recovery journey. I found that talking for me is really helpful in working through some of the traumas that I went through and something really bad experiences that happened to me. Talking and also like facing them, having a perspective about the past, and being honest with myself. Oh, there's a noise. Okay, let's just wait for it to pass. Yeah, I figured that being honest with myself and being introspective about what happened, it doesn't mean that you blame people for what happened to you, but it's more like really seeing what was done to you, so that you can have the accountability and the responsibility to move on, you know, to take care of yourself from this point onward, because you're in charge of your life, not anybody else. and you're in charge of, you know, whoever that you let into your life, and you're in charge of whatever influence the outside environment have on you. And so looking at the past and like seeing the pattern of, you know, how you're influenced by others or how people interact with you can give you like a really good, I guess, like a really good perspective on how to live like moving forward. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking in a circle, but yeah, right now I'm just trying to figure out how to live with myself and how to face what happened to me and how to face what I did, like my mistakes as well as the things that others done to me. Yeah, it's gonna be like a really long story. It's probably will be like 1001 đêm. It would take me the whole day to go through everything. And I will try not to edit this video so much because editing gave me cortisol. It gave me so much stress. Like I will try to just like snip things like in and out when I don't know what to say, or when I sit quiet for 5 minutes, or I can sit quiet for 5 minutes if nobody minds. Then maybe I can do that on camera as well. But I try not to edit so much. I think I will try not to do that because yeah, editing give me just cortisol. It give me a lot of stress, and stress is not good for my skin. I do a lot of, yeah, try not to be so, and sometimes I would be like talking to myself, not to anyone in particular, which is kind of concerning. But you know, thinking back about the whole like the past 13 months, I'm pretty sure, you know, it hasn't been easy on a lot of us, and certainly I would be lying if I said that I wasn't impacted in any way, because even though I wasn't affected directly, I mean, I have friends and family members who were actually infected, and they were in and out of the hospital, and it was very traumatizing for them. And I'm not comparing experiences, and certainly I felt like really, really sad for them, to see, you know, your loved ones and the people that you very close to you have their lives do a 180, just basically change everything overnight. As for me, it's more about my job, my work, and my relationship. And for me, you know, for someone that derives a huge part of my identity, maybe like 95% of my identity from what I do, and for my relationship, it has impacted me in a really, really serious way. I feel like, you know, the moment when that incident was something happened, and the moment that I realized it was happening, I feel like everything was sort of like stripped away from me. Everything that I knew, you know, my core beliefs. I walked away from it like a couple of months later. I was lucky to get out of that situation, but honestly, I was so confused. Like, I walked out of it feeling like a shell, like there's nothing in me, and I didn't know where reality was, and I didn't know what to believe in anymore. And so it took me a really long time to, you know, to gradually recover and to gradually putting myself together piece by piece. I would say that it's still like a work in progress. Some day it's very, very hard, and some day it's gotten a little bit more calm and it's gotten a little bit more clear. But you know, of course, I always have to push for it. It is a work in progress, as I think I mentioned before. So basically something happened for me in terms of relationship, and I think I mentioned before in the previous part of the video that I said that I just moved away from living with someone, and I've lived with this person for, you know, as long as I can remember. And so a big part of my identity a big part of who I am came from that relationship. And when that thing happened, which I will mention later, I basically just didn't know who I was, and it was very scary. It's like all of a sudden you were pushed out into the darkness and there was no map, and all that you knew were true is no longer true. And I'm still, like, up until today, sometimes I still find myself just going back to those experiences and trying to sort them out. I'm sorry, the lighting is changing a little bit, so I kind of look more yellow at the moment, but please bear with me. I think I will stabilize in a little bit. Yeah, I think we're approaching sunset right now outside, and the light looks just gorgeous. It just doesn't look good on me, I think. Like, outside in the room, it looks really nice, but maybe I'll show you like a photo later. But yeah, it just doesn't look good on me, I think. Yeah, it's just... Anyway. So yeah, I think the main thing for me, even though that happened and the work thing happened, it was like a huge opportunity for me. Like the optimist in me still, like the positive person in me still trying to find a way to rationalize all that happened as like a good way for me to grow. And it's actually true, because a lot of the beliefs that I had back in the past, like way before, it wasn't serving me in any way. It wasn't very beneficial for me to be holding on to them. And so that incident that happened were kind of like a shock to my system, and it just made me reevaluate everything. Coming out of that is really hard, because you will have moments when you try to feel familiar, like you're trying to feel like your old self again, like because that's all that you know how to be, that's all that you were. And now that you're not that anymore, it was destabilizing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there were moments when you're trying to feel stable. You will feel a lot like you trying to have less DC feeling in you. But I would say that if you're trying to keep like pushing and you stay in those moments, eventually they will just go away. And that I found to be true from my experience. I don't have it all together yet, to be honest, and this is like a very early part of my work in progress. And I know some of you have been trying to reach out to me and ask me what's going on, and I know you care for me, and I know that it's coming from a good place, and I really appreciate that. And it actually gave me a lot of motivation to try to work on myself. But I was hoping that you could be patient with me, because this is something that I cannot just suddenly change overnight, and I cannot suddenly become like a different person overnight. I'm still finding ways to come to terms with this new world that I've just realized that I'm living in. Some days I still find myself going back to the old ways, and having just like some days I still find myself going back to the old ways, but certainly that's something that I wish to change out of going forward. So yeah, like the light is kind of dying at the moment, so I think I'm gonna stop this video because it's looking kind of weird and too orangey on me. I will put out the next video, I think, later when the light is more stabilized. But thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, I think like later on, I think I want to go. So, and also, I think I want to stop this video at the moment because the light is looking very weird on me. It's looking kind of orange. Yeah, so I think I want to go. I will be back for another video soon, but right now, I have to go to the grocery. I have to return something as well, and I need to go before the store closed. Anyway, thank you so much for still being here and being with me in this moment and bearing with me through this process. I will stay in touch, and maybe I will see you in the next video.